This Guy's Garage. Like and subscribe.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Minister, for being here with us today. Minister, you touched on this actually in your opening remarks, and the estimates mentioned integrity measures for CERB. So I wanted to start with that, with regards to the integrity of this within the ESDC itself. And so last week, a story broke that within your department, 49 ESDC employees were fired by the department for taking CERB while they were still employed. Would that be correct, Minister?
That's my understanding, but I'll get JF to confirm, please.
It's correct.
Thank you. And when were you made aware there was an investigation being done of potential CERB fraud of employees within your department?
We specifically have let the public service handle all investigations with respect to any kind of issue related to CERB, whether it be fraud or error, specifically making sure and maintaining political distance, if you will, and making sure that there's never any appearance of impropriety. Of course, there are public servants who made these poor choices, and it is up to the department to take the lead on this. JF, anything further from you?
Minister, if I could just ask, are you saying that you were not made aware that there was any investigation going on previous to the announcement or previous to finding out that there were employees that would be terminated? Were you aware that there was an investigation going on specifically of employees within your department?
I was aware, at the level I was aware, was that there were public servants who were being followed up with, but not the specifics within my department or the precise number. But generally that this was a category that was being investigated.
Okay, so you're saying that no one brought to your attention specifically that there were employees being investigated within your department?
Not at that level of detail, no.
Minister, when were you made aware of the results of this investigation with the discovery of fraudulent CERB claims within your department?
I was made aware I want to make sure I get this date right. The day it broke, I was made aware.
And did someone inform you yourself, or did you hear about it on the news for the first time? Did someone make you aware
my goodness,
of the results?
It was a conversation with my staff at my morning briefing.
And who informed you of this, Minister? Was one of your staff?
I apologize. I don't remember the exact name of the person. I get briefed every morning on a myriad of issues, on a myriad of topics.
Okay, and of the individuals, these 49 ESDC employees that were terminated, what were the positions of these individuals? Were any of these in a management role?
I'll defer to the deputy on this.
As far as I know, there was nobody in the management role, but we can look at it if you want. And it was misrepresentation, not fraud.
Okay, and so Minister, you, as a follow-up to this, have you requested any information from your officials as to what positions these people may have had, and if there was misrepresentation or fraud? Have you asked for a follow-up on this and a report on this?
My interest in this has been solely around the process, and I have been assured that appropriate processes were followed in the investigation and the outcomes of these decisions. I just want to be clear. My involvement is very much on the process side. Here's how something's going to happen. Here's the possible outcomes. Again, certainly it's my practice to let these processes play out and make sure that I just know what the processes were.
Are there investigations still ongoing? Could the number be larger than this 49 that has been announced?
Best to confirm with JF on that. Sorry, my deputy, apologize.
It's okay.
Well, Minister, if you're unclear, obviously you haven't received obviously you haven't asked information to find out whether or not.
It's more that I'm waiting for these processes to play out. I think it wouldn't be appropriate to, I'm not sure the confidentiality at this point of anything that might be ongoing, so I'm hesitant to, I don't know final outcomes, so I don't want to get involved in
Right.
what
So you're unclear if there's still further investigations of employees within your department, is what you're saying?
No, I'm saying I'm unclear as to the outcomes of any further investigations.
Okay, Minister, your department officials told the Public Accounts Committee last week that these cases were dealt with internally and not referenced to any law enforcement. Does this mean that the money from those former employees, what they claimed, would not be recovered by the CRA?
My understanding is that this would be a separate process along with all the other CRA recovery processes. But JF, can you please confirm that?
As we said last week, like any other Canadians who misrepresent themselves, they will be treated like other Canadians in terms of repayment.
Minister, can you table for this committee a total number of employees who were
Thank you,
investigated?
Ms. Gray. Your time has concluded.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Minister, in 2017, there was a review done of the Social Security Tribunal by KPMG. Was an RFP put out for firms to conduct the review, or did KPMG receive a sole source contract?
I'll ask officials to see if they can answer that or if we have to provide that information after.
I don't have the answer to this. Sorry. We can check.
Thank you. I'd like that information to be tabled to this committee, please. And if there was an RFP, a copy tabled for this committee, what the RFP was. Do we know what or Minister, can you tell us what the dollar value of the contract was with KPMG to do this review?
From 2017, the same question, same contract?
Yes.
I don't have that information, no, but we can get it for you.
Thank you. If you could table for the committee a copy of that information. And are you able to provide a copy of the contract with KPMG in order to conduct the review?
JF, can we provide the contract?
We'll see what can be provided and we'll provide it.
Great, thank you. The Canadian government has a contract strategy. Was a review of the statement of work done by the Comptroller General for the Social Security Tribunal review?
Again, we'll have to get that information for you.
Great, thank you, Minister. Part of the role of a department is to prepare a statement of work using performance specifications whenever possible. Was a statement of work done for this review?
Again, I
think the
so, but I would not.
The CFO can
Yeah.
answer the question.
Okay.
Although, Mr. Chair, I wasn't here in 2017, I can attest to the fact that there are statements of work on all of our files that go forward for procurement.
Great, thank you. Was a contract strategy done for this review? Anyone?
Sorry, I'll get that answer for you, but sorry, it predates me. So anyway, I will get back to you.
Great. So if we could have tabled for this committee both the statement of work and the contract strategy for this review that KPMG did to this committee, please. Minister, was there a ministerial sign-off on this review, or whether it was yourself or your predecessor?
As you note, it predates me. I will have to confirm. It depends on the amount of the contract, whose authority is sought to sign off on any given contract. So we can get that information for you.
Great, thank you. You know, in some respects, it's kind of surprising that we don't have this information, considering that that your government has just tabled Bill C-37, which this review led up to what is being tabled in Bill C-37. So I would have thought that you would have had more, everyone would have been more prepared to answer those questions. But we'll go on to something else. Minister, in September of 2022, you told in the House in Parliament that Parliament would know the government's vision for EI by the end of 2022, and that promise has now come and gone. This is creating a lot of uncertainty. It's a lot of stress for working people as well as businesses, both for what they may need to pay in, but also who may be accessing it. So when will the plan be announced?
Thanks for the question. As I previously testified, we continue to refine the plan. It's important to me that we get it right and that we take into account everything that's been advised, all the submissions, all what we heard in the consultations, and we are not ready to release it, but it will be done. It will be released soon.
Minister, are you planning to release it prior to Budget 2023?
I'm not in a position to make that to make that promise at this point. I don't know when it will be released. Like I said, there's a lot of moving parts, and this has proven to be incredibly complicated. And if we want to get it right and avoid the piecemeal approach of the past,
are you expecting it this year, Minister? Sometime this year in 2023?
Yes, this year. But I don't want to kind of. I hear you on when I have said I would deliver this before, and I want to be as honest as I can about this, as forthright as I can, and we are in the position of refinement.
And Minister, are you, okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
10 seconds, so another question.
Oh, thank you. Minister, will this be coming forth, are you planning on bringing forth legislation for EI reform, or are you going to be doing it in regulation like you've done with other government services?
Well, there will definitely be, as I've testified, there will be an IT component to this, a legislative component to this, a regulatory component to this, a financial component to this, a phased component. Yes, I mean, absolutely. There will be legislative changes required, and it will depend on the order of sequencing of changes as to how and when that needs to happen.
It's all pretty vague.